Jeff Seckinger, okay? Major things brewing in the Far East. The United States just 4x'd its military presence in Taiwan, and what happens next might set the stage for the most significant global conflict in a century. Wow. In case you missed it, Taiwan produces more than 90% of the world's computer chips and 65% of the world's semiconductors. The US produces a modest amount and China produces much less, so everyone wants a piece of Taiwan. China's One China policy dictates that China seeks reunification with Taiwan and Hong Kong, if not through political means, then through force. The U.S. recognizes Taiwan's sovereignty and wants Taiwan to remain independent at all cost. Now, he says both the U.S. and China and everyone else rely heavily on Taiwan for the chips, so what happens with Taiwan will affect the entire world. Should the U.S. step up to defend Taiwan's independence and go toe-to-toe with China, or should we just start making our own chips domestically? I'll let you guys answer that in the comments down below, but nonetheless here, folks, you are seeing that it's becoming a national security interest to secure the vital commodities and natural resources that are going to run your economy, that your people need when it comes to food, when it comes to energy, right? This has become a national security crisis and one of the most significant conflicts that we are going to have seen in the last 100 years easily. And we're still going through this, and you guys are seeing the narrative ramping up. I watched today at the UN how the Western delegation just got up and walked out of the room when the Russians went to speak, when their diplomats went to speak there at the UN. Basically, they just got up and left the room, or at some, diplomatic setting, some meeting that was taking place here today. So they're just ramping it up. We're talking about setting off another 10 billion. And we just talk about this supply chain crisis, once again, not ending anytime soon. And it's becoming a vital national security interest for every country across this planet. And it's all part of the currency war. And I also consider that a commodity war as well, right? So, in the United States, we have the reserve currency, and we produce very little. And, we have quite a bit here. We have quite a bit of resources. We used to have a lot of production and manufacturing, right? But now with this new globalized economy, other countries are taking the lead, and we've sat back just using the reserve currency and our military to force our might and to, get to that standard of living that we, once had here in the United States. But as you guys have seen with real estate prices, they just peaked in June. We've lost $2.3 trillion worth of value just in real estate since peak of 2022. Stocks in decline, worst year ever for treasuries, more and more country leaving the SWIFT system. So like I said, this is a currency war, commodity war, and it's gone live. And we just continue to pray for peace. Continue to pray for peace, continue to try to find good information using discernment when we get, these sources. Even the United States, we have a tough time trusting our mainstream news, what they're telling us, the information that they're giving us on a daily basis just doesn't seem to be the full story. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.